Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my review of Telltale's The Walking Dead Season 1, which I have on disc right here. Yes, I still play the Xbox 360. I will probably buy an Xbox One at some point, but, this game came out back in 2012, I think it was. And I just never got around to playing it because at first I was just kind of, I guess, put off by the, sort of point and click, or how it's a little bit more role playing ish than say like Left 4 Dead or something, but it's been 4 years now. My mind's opened up a little bit more, and I just heard such great things about this whole Telltale version of The Walking Dead, this whole Telltale story that they tie into the comic book world, loosely anyway, or that exist in the same world as the comics do. So finally got around to playing it, bought it at a local used CD DVD game store. And so I got it for less than $10, which is a huge steal. I just finished episode 5, which is the last episode of season 1, a day or two ago. And of course, being a huge Walking Dead fan, I just had to play it, and I heavily enjoyed this, man. Has a really good original story to it. Pretty good original characters. I like the comic book graphic style of it. At first, if you haven't played something like this before, it takes a little bit of getting used to, but then it makes so much sense. Because again, it's in the comic book version of the Walking Dead world. And there is some cool designs to everyone because of that and stuff. And so I'm fine with that. I like that. And basically, the story, it's not too complex. Basically, you play as Lee Everett right there, and he's on the way to prison. Basically, he had killed the man who he found sleeping with his wife, and so he kind of gets to play off that, play off how he really thinks and how he really goes about how that affects him and how he presents himself to other people, and that ties into the dialogue choices of this game as well, which is definitely one of the best aspects of it. You have a certain amount of time to say things. You have 3, 4, 5 options sometimes. I think it's 4 options, but still, there's a lot of games out there that say what you do affects the story and stuff like that, but a lot of times it doesn't really affect anything too major. But with this, literally how you treat people, how you get to know people or not get to know people, and how honest you are with them actually does affect how certain things play out. It affects who dies where and things like that. So there really are ramifications, and there's really weight to what you do in this game. So that's probably my favorite aspect of it, really. And then with Lee, he sort of get to play off how he felt about doing that. So you can sort of make him more of an asshole, or you can make him an asshole with a golden heart, or just a really nice guy all around who just made a really rash and emotional, angry decision. I sort of like to play him in the middle ground, to make him a little bit, edgy and interesting, but at the same time, caring towards, Clementine and stuff. And he ends up finding Clementine in a treehouse when he's wandering around the town for the first time. And the walkers are really intense in this game too. You get a good sense of dread when there's 1 or 2 of them, but when there's a horde of them, as it starts happening kind of often in the last couple episodes of the game, it gets pretty intense, man. And there's not much more to explain about the story. I could be more specific about it, but you meet other characters like Kenny and stuff like that, who you can sort of develop a pretty close friendship with. And again, it's kind of based on who you help and who you don't, and who you talk to more often and stuff like that. And of course, the main objective, you get to a farm. You do go to Herschel's farm in this game, the comic book Herschel. You also work with Glenn from the comics for a little bit before he had met up with Rick and the others, which is cool. What was my favorite episode of the season? I'm going to say episode 5, because the ending to this game is also pretty strong. of course, with it being out for like about 4 years now, I did hear how it ended beforehand, but it was nonetheless really powerful, emotional, and definitely had a real, real world feel to it. Of course, with if you guys most of you guys have probably played the game by now, but with Clementine having to shoot Lee at the end, the whole dialogue on with that was pretty well written, and again, that's where the voice actors actually shined. At first the voice acting kind of comes off a little bit cheesy, I want to say, for the first episode or two. But again, as you get more used to it, it becomes a little bit more tolerable, and as it goes along, I do think the voice acting does get a little bit better. So most of everyone does a pretty decent job with it, and a good job especially from the guy who voiced Lee and the actress who voiced Clementine. So my favorite episode is episode 5, just because it dealt with that climactic sort of sad, tragic ending. And then you also meet who is talking on the walkie-talkie, which turned out to be a pretty good back and forth dialogue sequence, especially if you chose to take the supplies from that station wagon earlier in the game. Again, ramifications, and there's good tiebacks to previous stuff. And then after that, my favorite episode is probably episode 2, because that dealt with the whole other farm thing, the family we met there. And of course, the cannibal family twist was kind of predictable. Even my girlfriend, just seeing me play it for a few minutes when she was over, she said, "Oh, they eat people, don't they?" Before I had actually gotten to it. So yeah, it's pretty easy to see coming there. But at the same time, it was pretty well done. It was intense, as you really got to see like when a guy is like just crawling around without his legs and stuff, and just the dread that goes along with all that was pretty well done. So predictable, but yeah, well done all at the same time. My cat's sleeping over there. I'll give you a good look at her real quick. She's right there, sorta, kinda, right there. Anyway, so I like that because apparently I enjoy cannibal stories. But yeah, that was a good episode too. Episode 3 was good too. I think that was long road ahead. It dealt with the whole train thing starting up, and that was a good episode, but for some reason I felt like it was a little bit shorter than the others. I don't know if that's true or not. It didn't feel like there was quite as much going on, but I think there was a big death towards the beginning of that episode, with Carly, who is sort of becoming her love interest in the game. Although me personally, I was actually more interested in Lily, who is ironically my girlfriend's name. But Lily I found to be a more interesting character, and of course you kind of deal with her father, and he becomes, he has a pretty big temper, and then he eventually has a heart attack, and you have to choose whether to put him down in a pretty brutal way, or can he just end up doing it for you. And that's the one critique with the story I have, is what they end up doing with Lily. Again, she's the one who actually ends up shooting Carly, and I made the choice to leave her, and sort of drive off without her. And it turns out if I would have taken her with me, she would have ended up stealing and just driving off anyway. But either way, apparently after that point, you never see her again. I never seen her in season 1 again, and I didn't really like spoiling this part for myself, but apparently we still haven't seen Lily again in season 2 or anything, and that just feels kind of weird. I mean, but at the same time, it's probably realistic that we might not run to everyone again, especially since she was just left in the middle of the road, with a forest and walkers surrounding her and stuff. But she did run to the forest, so even though it might not have been realistic to see her again, it probably would have been a better story if she did come back and try and get the group again or something. They're doing a season 3, so maybe they could bring her back for that. I don't know. I feel like if they were going to do it, it would have been in season 1 or in season 2 somewhere, but I would have liked to have seen her again, instead of her just being unknown, with her status and stuff. But it is what it is. So episode 3 was okay. Episode 4 was pretty good. It's probably my 3rd favorite, I want to say. That dealt with you going into Crawford and stuff. I just like the whole city setting again and stuff. I thought it was pretty. It was utilized pretty well. So my favorite episodes go like this: episode 5, favorite; episode 2, the whole cannibal family thing. Probably episode 4. Episode 1, it was more basic than the others, but again we got the whole Herschel Glenn thing, And, just kind of getting an introduction to what it's going to be like and stuff, they did it pretty well. So episode 1, and then would probably be episode 3. But yeah, those are really my thoughts on the game, There is a good amount of violence. You get to see plenty of heads bashed in, decapitations, bites, stuff like that. And you do care about the characters, as it goes along. They do develop pretty well, I want to say. So yeah, those are my overall thoughts on the game. If there's anything more specific about it you want me to talk about or get my thoughts on, feel free to leave a comment below. I'd love to talk about it more. Really enjoyed it, I'm definitely planning on buying Season 2 at some point, to continue the Clementine thing. I'll probably play the Michonne thing once that comes out. I don't really use Xbox Live, so I'm kind of waiting for them all to come out on disc and stuff. I'm probably even going to buy this Clementine figure I see online too, so we'll see. Overall, I did really enjoy it. Voice acting gets better as it goes along. The story's pretty good, even if it's simple. It really delivers when it has to. Dialogue choices are awesome. And, I like the comic book graphic style, too. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick video. Might be doing a video a little bit later about something I just got in the mail, which is a Penny Dreadful Vanessa Ives figure, which we'll take a look at a little bit more later. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and look for invincible.com. Peace. Definitely makes me want to play the Game of Thrones one, too. Here, we're making a Batman one.